Hello, I hope you're all having a lovely week. I cannot believe that April is in just a few days. We have nearly done a quarter of a year, which is both incredible and slightly terrifying. I have been seeing some of my favourite YouTubers starting to do monthly resets, and I thought that was such a fantastic idea. I am obsessed with the beginning of January, where you get to set your goals and intentions for the year, and I get to start thinking about all the ways in which I am really excited to make progress towards the ways that I want to improve my lovely life. And I thought, why should that just be saved for the beginning of the year? So today, in true Ellen fashion, I've come up with a bit of a framework for how I'm going to do my monthly resets. And my framework is split into three key stages. First, pause. Second, reflect. And then third, plan. So the first step, pause. This is where I think we all deserve to have an entire day, or as much time as you can possibly get, to, at the end of each month, sit, reset, and spend time doing things that you truly love to do. I often think there can be quite a lot of noise in the world telling us what we want, and actually I think spending some dedicated time getting back to our true authentic self will be so beneficial before we then start to reflect and set goals, because often I am influenced into things and I think, do I actually want that, or was the marketing just really good? So some time to do things that are truly authentic to you. So for me, that's picking up a lovely bunch of flowers, it's lighting a candle, it's having a bath, and it is at this time of year probably pouring myself a glass of rosé and just spending some time thinking about me, myself and I, and what it is that I truly love in life. The second phase then is reflect, and this is where each month I'm going to think of three things that I'm really proud of and I thought that went really well from the month before, and three things that didn't go so well and that I'm not so proud of. So to give you some examples, if you're also going to follow the same framework, three things that I am really proud of and pleased with from the last month are, number one, actually I'm going to grab my phone because I made some notes, partly in my notebook and partly in my phone when I did some of my pausing yesterday. So the first thing that I am really proud of from last month is staying consistent with my YouTube channel. It's something I started in January, and I said to myself I wanted to make sure that I posted at least one video every single week, and I've managed to keep up with that all through the month of March, which I'm really proud of. And even more than that, I'm just so pleased with how much I am loving the creative process behind producing YouTube videos, and it's definitely something that I want to continue to do because I'm absolutely loving it. The second thing that I'm really pleased with from March is that I have done a much better job than I have in the past at starting to accumulate savings. I think I might have mentioned it before, but Sam and I bought our first property together a couple of years ago, and honestly it just completely wiped us out financially. I think we were honestly quite naive about how many extra costs go on top of the main ones that you think of, and it's just meant that I've had this underlying level of anxiety for far too long, just not having any cash should anything go wrong. So I finally started to accumulate savings, which is just brilliant because it means that I just have that safety blanket for any unexpected things that crop up that we might need to purchase. So I'm feeling really good about sticking to our savings target. And then for me, the third thing that went really well is just continuing to feel content and happy and confident in my life. 2021 was such a rough one for me personally, mentally, and I know for so many of us, and I have been on such a journey really since the end of 2021 to feeling more content and more happy and feeling more loving towards my life, and I have had an absolutely lovely March, so I'm really pleased and I really want to make sure that I continue that into the rest of the year. Okay, so the things that I don't feel so proud of that didn't go as well as I hoped last month. First one is I've been getting so lazy with food, and I have ordered more and more takeaways and deliveries in March, and that's got to change. I absolutely love to cook. It's obviously more nutritious for you 9 times out of 10 when you cook your own food rather than getting takeaways. And I just really miss being in the kitchen and feeling productive and healthy creating my own meals. So I need to cut back on my deliveries in April for sure. My second one is fitness. I don't know why fitness is honestly my nemesis. I cannot seem to crack working out consistently. Even if it's not working out, just moving my body consistently. I am hoping that the change in weather is going to really help with that, because when it's sunnier and it's brighter, I swear I just come alive, and honestly I just hibernate all winter. I sit on the sofa and nothing can get me up to do exercise at all. So I'm hoping that as the sunnier weather is coming, I'll at least be going on a walk every single day, because somehow I've got to crack getting better at moving my body, because it's just, there are so many health benefits to being more active, and I do become a total couch potato in the winter. And then the third thing that I am a bit gutted about from last month is I have not been calling my sister nearly enough. I have such a close relationship with all of my family members, especially my sister, and she lives in the south by the coast, and so because she lives a couple of hours away from me, we probably only see each other about every 4 or 5 weeks, which just isn't enough for us. And so we're usually really good at having lots of phone calls, and we just haven't been in March. So I really want to fix that in April and make sure that I see her and talk to her far more often. So if you also have family members that you haven't spoken to much recently, give them a call, send them a text, because there is nothing more important than family. Okay, so now we've had our pause, ideally the day before or sometime before you start to reflect, spending a day that's just with you and doing all the things that you love. Then the second step is reflect, which we've now done. 3 things that you were proud of from last month, 3 things not so proud of. And then finally, it's time to plan, which is probably my favorite bit, because we get into starting to set goals for the next month. And honestly, I get such a buzz out of goal setting. I swear, sometimes for me, the excitement and the anticipation of something is almost better than the event itself. And I don't mind that at all, because it means I basically get the joy of the experience throughout the weeks leading up to it. So I've already started to have a think about my goals. I am going to split mine into 3 categories for next month. I do think that each month you can change up the categories that you want to focus your goals on. For me next month, my goals are going to be financial, health-based, and then personal/career. So first up, financial. Again, I'm gonna have to consult my notes to make sure that they are what I remember them being. Okay, so yes, financial goals. As I mentioned, we bought our house a couple of years ago, wiped us out financially, and it meant that we ended up in quite a lot of debt. We got out credit cards so we could pay for lump purchases. We split payments for lots of things across several months, like our gorgeous big sofa and our fridge. We kind of did monthly installment payments, and we are so close to being able to get rid of the credit card and finish our monthly installments for all of our purchases, which means that we are nearly house debt free, apart from obviously the mortgage. So I'm really hoping in April we're going to be able to get rid of all of that once and for all, which is amazing. My second financial goal for the month is to actually start putting away some of the savings that we're accumulating for a car. Sam and I have never had a car. We are so lucky that my family do actually live in London, not that far from where we live. So if we do ever need one, we are able to borrow either my brother's car or my parents' car, which is wonderful. And it's why I've always felt really guilty about setting this as a goal for myself, because I live in London, there's amazing public transport, and I do have access to a car to borrow if I want one. So it is really a luxury purchase, but I've romanticized the freedom that a car brings so much. And whether it's the little things of, I just love the thought of being able to drive to a big supermarket, do a huge weekly shop, load it up in the back of a car, and I don't have to like carry bags and lug them up the hill from our local supermarket, and I can only ever do small shops. So whether it's that, or whether it's being able to jump in the car and visit our family. We have family that live in Suffolk, we have family that live in the Cotswolds, and being able to just get in the car and shoot off to visit them whenever we like without having to look at trains or ask if we can borrow a car is just, I love the thought so much. So I really would love to be able to buy a car this year. That probably won't happen in April, but to continue to save for that big purchase, I think starting from April, I'm going to make it an actual goal to buy a car this year. I think I'm finally giving myself permission to want one this year. So that is my second financial goal for April. Okay, so now onto my health goals. This is linked to, again, what didn't go so well for me in March. The first one is around food. I do want to start cooking more. I absolutely love to cook, especially in spring. We are planning to do a bit of a garden renovation this year, and I want to start cooking some of my own produce, and being able to cook with that would just be so fun. So cooking more, and then specifically within that, I think I really need to up my protein intake this month. I am vegetarian, well, I'm not really vegetarian, but I don't eat meat. So I do think that my protein intake is too low, and usually I'm really good at staying on top of it, but I think that's been quite poor recently. So I need to start getting some more protein into my diet. And then my second health goal is, again, fitness, and well, maybe my third goal if I've got cooking more, protein in my diet, and then my third one is, again, fitness, moving my body every single day. Even if it's just a short walk, moving my body every single day is what we're going to do in April. Come on, I need you guys to help me get better at doing that. Okay, and then finally on to my personal / career goals. My first one is super exciting, and I'm not going to keep myself to it too strictly, but I'm loving the YouTube process so much, as I said, that I would really love to be able to start posting twice a week on my channel starting in April. So I am going to try and give that a go. I do have a 9-to-5 job. Well, it's not even really 9 to 5, it's more than that. I do have a corporate job in the city in London. But I am loving the process of doing these so much, as I keep saying, so I'm going to try and start doing them twice a week, because I do believe you should do more of what you love. So starting in April, twice a week on YouTube. So if you are liking my channel, please do like and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more content coming soon. My second personal goal is to take better care of my skin. I'm usually really good with my skincare routine and my skincare products, and I've honestly just been letting it slip by the wayside a little bit too much in March. Again, just getting a little bit lazy with the little things in my life. So skincare, I know that as the sun comes out, I need to be properly on it with SPF every day, and I just need to give it that extra boost of hydration as the weather warms up. So yeah, investing a little bit more into my skincare for next month as well. And then my third personal goal is to just spend more time with Sam and invest even more love and attention into our relationship. We love to travel, especially in the sunnier weather. So I want to make sure that we take at least one trip during April. As I mentioned, we have got family in different parts of the country, and I'd love to be able to take a trip to Suffolk because they live by the sea, and so for Sam and I to be able to go and take a trip together to the beach, even if it's in the UK, would be absolutely lovely in April. So fingers crossed we nail that goal as well. And that is it, guys. Everything that I will do as part of my monthly reset. We've got 3 key steps: pause, reflect, and plan. And I think at the moment I'm really happy with that as a bit of a framework for how I'm going to do it each month. Let me know if you like the idea of doing your monthly resets in this way. Let me know if you like to do a monthly reset, if there's anything that you think I should be thinking of as part of my monthly reset. The only other thing that I will recommend to you guys is to have a couple of really lovely notebooks for you to use as you do your reset. Although I did have some of these notes written on my phone, I do love to transfer them to pen and paper. There's just something so lovely and romantic about writing down your goals with a pen and paper, and I've got some really beautiful notebooks that I will link down below. I've got a moleskin one which I've got engraved with my name, which I think is such a lovely touch, and Papier, I just think, do the most beautiful notebooks. They are obviously a bit more of a splurge, but I don't use for like scribbly nonsense notes. I use for when I really want to write reflective things in there, or my goal setting. So I'll link those below as well, because I think they're so beautiful, and it's such a nice touch to have something lovely to do your monthly resets in. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.